Hi, I'm here with Tony, the CEO of Zappos. How do I pronounce your name, Tony?
Hsieh, Tony Hsieh.
Tony Hsieh, founder and CEO of Zappos.
Just
and
CEO, not founder.
Just CEO. He's very, very modest. And we are here in a house at TED at the conference in Long Beach. Why are we here?
They apparently built this house. You'll see, I think you'll put together a video later, but they put it together in 4 hours, which is amazing. It's a 2-story, I think there's 2 or 3 bedrooms in here, and we thought we'd film in the bathtub and toilet on the
Yeah, I think it was very convenient. We have toilet. We'll see if we use that later on. So, Tony, tell me about Zappos. So you founded it in '99. It became like a huge story. So tell me just the beginning, how it started. How did you get the idea?
Well, so I'm actually not the founder. The founder, his name is Nick, was walking around a mall in San Francisco looking for a pair of shoes. Walked around for an hour, couldn't find anything, and then decided to start an online shoe site. That was the original idea. I got involved about 2 months after it started, originally as an investor and advisor, and over the course of a year, got sucked in full time. And I've been with Zappos for the past 9 years or so.
So why is it? Because many people could say it's just another e-commerce shop that was launched on the internet. Why is it such a big story?
I think for us, our hope is that 10 years from now, people won't even realize we started out selling shoes online. We really just want the Zappos brand to be about the very best customer service and customer experience. And so we actually today sell a lot more than shoes. We sell clothing and handbags, accessories, even electronics and housewares. And really, it doesn't even have to be online. We've actually even had customers email us and ask us if we would start an airline. And we're not going to do that this year, but 20 or 30 years from now, I wouldn't rule out a Zappos Airlines. That's just about the very best customer service.
So why the customer service is so important?
I think a lot of people are just frustrated by companies that don't deliver great service, don't
yeah, service sucks generally.
Care about it. And I think although in the long run it's actually just good business. It's just that the payoff is usually 2 or 3 years down the line. But we've seen our growth from basically 0 in '99 to in 2008 we did over $1 billion in gross merchandise sales.
Wow!
And the #1 driver of that growth has been through repeat customers and word of mouth.
So tell me what you qualify as a good service. What makes Zappos different in buying anything there if it's not only shoes there?
Well, so it starts with our shipping and return policy. So it's free shipping both ways. So a lot of people will order 10 different pairs of shoes, try them on with 10 different outfits, and then just send back the ones they don't like or don't fit. We have a 365-day return policy. But really,
so wait! I can return an item 365 day? No, anytime. You mean?
No, up to a year later. Just
really?
if you have
not used shoes, though, right?
No, we're not a shoe rental company, but yeah, just for people that have trouble committing or making up their mind.
Okay, so I can return it anytime. What else?
But a lot of it is just I know for me personally, I've ordered from websites and. I might get a notice 2 days later or 2 weeks later saying, oh, sorry, we're actually out of stock or this item's on back order. And we actually will only put stuff up that is physically in our warehouse. And that actually hurts our sales because if we could put up other items that aren't physically in our warehouse and then ship it to them later, we would be a lot more profitable. But we really want our brand to just be about the best experience, and we have to control and own every item that we sell.
So you always have stock. You can return whenever you like. What else? Can I call you 24 hours a day?
Yep, we are available 24/7, and unlike most websites that hide their contact information, our 1-800 number is at the top of every single page of our website because we actually want to talk to our customers. We get something like 5,000 phone calls a day, and we don't. We run our call center pretty differently. We don't have scripts. We don't try to upsell. In fact, if a customer is looking for a specific pair of shoes and let's say we're out of stock of their size, we'll actually look on competitor websites for them and then direct them to that competitor.
Really?
Yeah.
So you tell me, no, don't buy here, and I've never felt so comfortable on. Yeah.
You look very natural.
I look so well. You know, I feel so cool. We should do interviews like this every day. So you actually point them to competitors.
Yeah, and
so don't buy this at Zappos. Buy it there.
Yeah, well, if we don't have their size in stock, then they obviously can't buy it from us.
Wow. So, and anything else for service?
Yeah, I could go on and on. For example,
give me a short pitch.
We run our warehouse 24/7, which is actually not the most efficient way to run a warehouse, but it gets the shoes out to the customers as quickly as possible. So, a lot of people will order as late as midnight, and we do surprise upgrades for our repeat customers, and so a lot of them end up getting it 8 hours later on their doorstep, and that just creates the whole wow experience and drives that repeat customer and word-of-mouth behavior.
What else do you have as a wow experience for customers?
We really trust our reps to do whatever they think will wow the customers, so it's not like we have a list of things, but for example, we have stories where a rep will send someone flowers, for example, and that's just totally up to them if they feel that that's the right thing to do for the customer. And obviously we lose money there, but we're not trying to maximize every transaction. We're trying to build a lifelong relationship with the customer.
Lifelong relationship, but you have to give a limit. So talk about profitability, right? You have to give a limit to the sales guy, right? Otherwise, I would, why not send me, I don't know, a car to thank me for a pair of shoes being bought at Zappos?
Yeah, well, we really just trust them to use their best judgment, and they do. If anything, we actually have the opposite problem. We for reps that have come from other call centers, we need to teach them to be more generous, to our customers. And but you're right, in terms of profitability, we basically work backwards. We have certain financial goals that we have to meet because we have a board of directors and other shareholders, and then we decide after that to invest as much as possible into customer service and company culture as possible while still meeting our financial goals. And for us, actually, customer service is not our #1 priority. Our #1 priority is company culture. Our whole belief is that if you get the culture right, then most of the other stuff like great customer service or building a great brand will just happen naturally on its own.
And Zappos and Tony are known worldwide now for this amazing. Do you feel well like this?
I am.
Do you want some soap or anything? The known worldwide for this amazing corporate culture. You even have a book about Zappos. Yeah. Can you explain, because this corporate culture sounds to me like those big boring companies which invent things that nobody kind of reads or use. So yours is different. What is it?
Yeah, I think ours is different because it's really not driven by me. It's driven by the employees themselves, and they decide how they want the culture to evolve. What would make them happy to come into work every day, and so they come up with the most amazing and random ideas. For example, someone came up with the idea of having parades, and so
parades.
So randomly, every week or two, some group of 10 or 15 people will get together, and it's different 15 people every time, and they'll think of a theme like pirates or Mardi Gras, and then dress up like that, and then walk around. We recently had an Oktoberfest parade where people dressed up in lederhosen and handed out sausages and drinks, and it was fun. And they make a lot of noise. There's music going on. Customers hear it in the background, and we'll sometimes ask what's going on there, and we just explain. Well, what's the parade passing through?
What's the top most weird things which happen in the Zappos culture by the employees?
I would say it's definitely one of them. We have a Dance Revolution, one of those dancing games in our lobby, popcorn machine. We have, every month or two, we have this thing called Zappos Idol, where employees basically karaoke during lunch, and they're actually very talented and very good.
You seem to explain like it's absolutely normal that any company has this. And so if I have a company which is very boring, which is not the case, I love my team, but what do you recommend we should start with?
Well, for us, we formalize the definition of our company culture into 10 core values, and we actually will hire and fire people based on those core values. And so, for example, we actually do 2 sets of interviews. If the hiring manager and his or her team will do the standard, look for experience, fit within the team, and skill, and so on. And then our HR department does a separate set of interviews purely for culture fit. And they have to pass both in order to be hired. So we've actually passed on a lot of really talented people that we know would make an immediate impact to our top or bottom line, but if they're not a culture fit, we won't hire them. And similarly, we'll fire people even if they're doing their individual job perfectly fine. If they're bad for the culture, we will fire them.
And so why do you do this book?
Oh, and so,
what is this book?
So this book is, we are actually, it's a book we put out every year. It's called The Culture Book. And we ask all our employees to write a few paragraphs about what the Zappos culture means to them. And except for typos, it's unedited. And so we include both the good and the bad. It's kind of like...
you put the bad too?
Yeah. It's kind of like customer reviews, but employee reviews. And actually, if anyone is watching, we're happy to send you a free copy of it. Just email me, Tony, Tony, @zappos.com.
But wait, why would I want a book on corporate culture of a very cool company? What's in it for me?
I think it'll just give you a much better sense of what the Zappos culture is like, and there's pictures in there, and so it's one thing for me to talk about it, but when you actually read it from other employees, then you can get much better sense. So I just need people's mailing address because it's a physical book, and be happy to send one out. All right.
Well, so if you want the book from Tony, you can get it this way. Also, so come back to profitability, because we're all like, do you guarantee the lowest price possible?
No, we don't. We really want the Zappos brand to just be about the best service and selections.
Right, but wait, if I buy this pair of shoes and I see 40% cheaper somewhere else when I received it, what do you do anything with that?
Well, we generally so the types of items that in the retail world in general that you would find discounted are typically at the end of the season, and so for the latest and greatest styles, it's going to be pretty much the same price everywhere. At the end of the season, what hasn't sold well on Zappos, we actually moved to a separate site that we run called 6pm.com, separately branded, and that's a discount site. Everything is 40 to 75% off, or maybe more, but it's a different service level.
I see. How do you use I mean, you have, what, 50,000 followers on Twitter?
Yeah, I think right about 50,000.
So why do you think there is such a tribe, as Seth Godin would explain, around Zappos and around you?
I don't think it's around me, because the Twitter name is just Zappos, or @Zappos on Twitter. I think it's really a following around the Zappos brand, and for us, we just try to be, one of the things that we try to do with Twitter is it's not just the one Twitter account I have, but we actually have over 400 employees that are on Twitter, and we introduce them to Twitter as part of the orientation, and they sign up, and we've, if you go to twitter.zappos.com, there's actually a link where you can see an aggregation of all the employee tweets together, and it's really, for us, just a way of showcasing and building the Zappos culture, and then when people can see through, whether it's my tweets or other employees' tweets, that we really do have fun, and we genuinely care about our customers. We're not just here trying to squeeze every dollar out of them.
But so why do you think Seth Godin is, like, quoting Zappos as an example of what small companies should all be doing? This culture, this tribal.
Yeah.
Give me advice. Like, give me advice for, I'm sure they'll be fascinated here on, like, how do I do the same, right?
Yeah. So I think it all starts with your core values that I was talking about earlier. And if you just do a Google search for Zappos core values, you can see what our 10 are. But I don't think it actually really matters what the core values are. It's more about, for any company, you need to figure out what your core values are, and more importantly, which core values you're willing to commit to. And that's actually the hard part, is figuring out...
Keep going. I'll change it. The
hard part is figuring out committable core values, because a lot of companies they might call them core values or guiding principles, but it's usually a plaque on the wall and reads more like a press release, and no one really pays attention to it. And by committable means you're willing to hire or fire based on that, even if their individual job performance is otherwise fine.
And how about if you see criticism around Zappos on Twitter or on a blog post? Like if you have an unhappy customer, what happens? Do you monitor this live? Do you monitor? Sorry for my French.
Oh, yeah.
Do you monitor this live?
May we? So yes, we do monitor. I read every tweet that mentions Zappos, and then we also have some other people from our customer loyalty team that do that. But it's really no different than if a customer calls and has an issue by phone.
Well, except it's public, right?
Yeah, but we really embrace, one of the things that I think is really important for all companies moving forward is to embrace transparency. So that's one of our core values. It's about being open and honest. And I think if you're willing to be transparent and you can truly embrace that, then there's just a much higher level of trust with employees and with customers. And so we don't actually care whether it's public or private. That's not what makes the difference. The difference is that it's a customer or potential customer, and we need to do whatever it takes to take care of the customer.
So you're very transparent with the employees as well. What happens if like someone doesn't perform well and you have to fire him? Do you take this public as well?
Well, there are definitely certain legal issues depending on the specifics, and so we won't post their performance review publicly. But if someone, for example, is not good for the culture, we want to make sure that that information is communicated to all employees.
But not in public. Like, you see what I mean, right? Being so transparent with employees, you could have someone saying, "Oh, but you fired this guy. It was not fair," or
no. I think part of it is, if someone's not good for a culture, everyone already knows it anyways, and so if they're they're suddenly not there one day with no notice, it's pretty much understood why that person had to leave the company.
Cool. So what are the next products you're going to release? And we'll end with this.
We're actually making a big push into clothing, and we actually have a pretty big selection of clothing, and we're about to start rolling out a little TV ad campaign that showcases clothing, and I think that's going to be the next step, is just applying the same customer service philosophies that we've been doing with shoes towards clothing, and we're all very excited about that.
Why clothing? You could go into a higher margin market, I guess.
Clothing is actually about the same margin as footwear.
Oh, okay. My loss fan.
Oh, wait. Oh. No, last thing.
We can take for
next time you're in Las Vegas, or if any of your viewers are in Las Vegas.
You do those tours, right?
Yeah, we give tours every weekday. Best days to come are Monday through Thursdays, and we'll just email me, Tony@Zappos.com, to schedule a tour, and we'll pick you up from the airport. We're right next to the airport in the Zappos shuttle, give you a tour, and then drop you off at the hotel. It's a lot of fun. Tour takes about 45 minutes to an hour. Yeah, just email me to schedule.
And just show up in your office, no problem.
No, just email me beforehand. Well, you can show up.
Oh, well, no
problem. And, no, we'll let you sit on whatever toilet you want in the Zappos offices. So.
Cool. And if we get you know what Seismic works like. You can do video questions. So if the community here on Seismic or anybody has video questions, would you reply to that? Now you're trapped. You have to say yes, of course. With great.
I will do my best, but I don't know how many replies we'll be getting. If I get 1,000 replies, I don't know what's normal.
It depends. How do you deal with Twitter? Because you have such a following that you probably get lots of questions on Twitter. Is it the whole team replying?
No, I mean, if I ever get a question on Twitter, I always personally reply. But Twitter alone can take a while to get through all the replies, and those are 140 characters or less.
But you reply to all of them?
To all the ones that have a specific question for me, yeah.
Wow. So, Tony, how to reach you? Can you say this again? By email?
So, by email, it's Tony, Tony, @Zappos.com. And on Twitter, my username is @Zappos.
Cool. Thanks very much, Tony, for your time and this funny interview. Now we can actually take a shower.
Shower's behind.
Behind? Yes. Right at the back.
All right.